Hey, what's up, buds? Welcome to another Wake Up Wednesday with Nat. So good to see you this morning. How are you doing? How are you feeling? We will be doing a check-in, like a quarterly check-in soon because we're almost to the end of March. So be ready for that in the next couple of episodes as we check in on goals or resolutions and how things have been going on for us since the beginning of the year. But today I thought we'd talk about confidence. Confidence is a big one that gets many people. And the thing about confidence is that it can affect one or more areas of your life. So you can be super confident in a couple of areas. Maybe you're a really good athlete, or maybe you're very good at math. And so when it comes to those abilities or performing in some of those functions or activities, you're confident. You're like, I got this in the bag. I'm not worried about it. There's no nerves. You actually enjoy your time doing that. But then there might be other areas of your life that you're just not quite as confident. A good example is public speaking. So maybe you are a natural athlete or been an athlete for a very long time, but then your kid asks you to do a show and tell at school and come talk about being an athlete and all that entails, and you start to panic because you're just like, I'm not a public speaker, I don't do that. And so you can start feeling yourself having all of those thoughts and feelings that are, I'm not good enough. I don't want to do that. I'm really nervous. That freaks me out because you don't have that confidence. You haven't built up those characteristics, those traits, those qualities yet in yourself around that area. So it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing, but it also can be. Maybe you're somebody that's just like, I have no confidence in like anything that I do. All right. The word confidence is about trusting ourselves. It's about trusting our choices, our values, our beliefs, our skills. It's really trust that we have within ourselves. Unfortunately, it has been impacted by the external world. So as kids, as we're growing up into early childhood, we have an abundance of confidence. We're full of confidence. We think we're invincible. We can do anything, right? But then we have our parents coming after us like, no, 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 you can't do that. Stay safe. That's not okay. That's too dangerous. Don't do that. And well-intentioned, well-meaning, but as we also get older, um, our experiences and exposure to new experiences starts to chip away at confidence. So it could be as a result of a caregiver that was overprotective or would reprimand you for anything and everything. It might be the people that you hung out with. Maybe they were a little critical and judgmental. A big one is just growing up with television and movies and now social media. It's easier and easier and more accessible, and just at a higher rate that it's happening, that we're comparing ourselves to other people. So how we look, how we feel, who we're dating, who we're married to, what we should be doing, where we should live, the job we should have, how much money we should have in the bank. And so again, you can see that as we get older, there's just these different life experiences that are just chipping away at that confidence. But the good news is that, like some other things that we may lose, confidence is something that we can regain, we can relearn, we can build, and we can improve upon. I have 4 tips for you today because self-confidence can hold us back in many areas of our lives. At work specifically, maybe if you're up for a promotion and you interview, but your coworker interviews and they just like hit it out of the park in that interview. They show up, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic. Their interview panel can tell that that person has that self-assuredness within themselves. They might get the job over you, and that's just one example. But so it can hold us back. So with self-confidence, the key is going to be that we need to rebuild the trust within ourselves, because along the way we lost it. So again, it's something that's unfortunately damaged by the outside world, but it's really caused by how we internalize things and then what we do. And then we start chipping away at our own confidence, our own trust with our decisions, our choices, our values, that we hesitate to even make decisions, and that really reduces our confidence. So tip number 1 is going to be to start small, because we need to learn to rebuild trust with ourselves, just like you might need to rebuild trust with a friend or a loved one. It takes time, and it's going to be those regular recurring actions that they take that just say, hey, look, I'm really here to try to regain your trust. Like, I want you to, trust in me and be able to rely on me. You're going to do the same thing, but with yourself. And so when I say start small, I really mean start small, like start daily. A big one here would be maybe just waking up in the morning. How many of us will say, okay, tomorrow's the day, I'm going to wake up like 30 minutes early or 10 minutes early and, put on some makeup or, stretch a little bit, or maybe just, do gratitude practice, whatever, in the morning. And then that alarm clock goes off at the time that you said you were going to get up, at the time you set your alarm clock. It goes off, you snooze, there you go again. You broke another promise to yourself. We break promises to ourselves so much of the time. We will steal time, borrow time, make extra time to go out of our way to help others, loved ones, friends, families, even coworkers. But when it comes to ourselves, we put ourselves so far down on that totem pole that also chips away at our self-confidence, because we start to lose trust in anything that we even say. We can't even trust our own choices. So that is just a small example. It doesn't necessarily have to be an alarm clock. It might even be something like setting a routine for yourself daily to set yourself up for success. It could be a morning routine. It could be a nighttime routine. If you are not a morning person, don't make this stressful. Don't say, okay, I'm going to get up an hour early to do all of these things. Maybe it's something that you'll do at night instead. Maybe it's just a skincare routine that you know if you do, it's going to make you feel better. Or maybe it's setting your clothes out the night before, because it's going to set you up for success in the morning. Do something that you're going to commit to yourself and follow through with it over and over. I'm willing to bet that if you sit down for a couple of minutes, you can probably come up with at least 3 to 5 things that you've been telling yourself you're going to do. Drink more water. Get up and stretch between meetings while you're at work instead of sitting for 8 hours at a computer. Whatever the case is, I guarantee you'll find something, one thing that you can start to follow through with to show yourself, okay, I said I was going to do it and I did it, and it's just for you. It's not for anybody else. So find something, but just start small and just do it as often as you can to regain that trust. Tip number 2 is to have a growth mindset. So in case you don't know, growth mindset, fixed mindset, and the differences there. So a fixed mindset is people that believe that their characteristics or traits or talents, their abilities are just that. They're fixed. They're set in stone. They can't do anything about it no matter what. Like, this is me. This is all I'm capable of doing, learning, whatever. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. This is just what you see is what you get. Growth mindset is also what it sounds like. It's the belief in that our abilities, our characteristics, our skills can be improved over time, that we can learn new things. That doesn't mean we won't fail. That doesn't mean we might not be bad at it for a little while until we get some more experience. But it does mean that we know that whatever it is we want to get better at, with time and effort, we will get better at what that might be. Maybe I'm not going to win a Super Bowl championship, but if I want to learn to throw a football and just like play tackle football, or I don't know, flag football maybe with friends, that I can do that if I apply myself. So those are the differences. So having a growth mindset, how you would apply that with confidence is to, this one's super, super simple, is to start using a qualifying word when you're talking either to yourself or about yourself to somebody else. And you're, instead of saying, so example, instead of saying, I'm not confident, it's I'm not confident yet. Throw the word yet in there, because that starts to signal to others around you, and more importantly to yourself, even at a subconscious level, that I'm not there yet, but I'm aware of it and I'm going to work at it, and I know that I will get there, versus just a fixed, I'm not confident. I'm not confident yet means I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to improve. I'm going to boost my confidence. So I'm not confident yet. Whether you're writing about it, journaling about it, telling yourself about it, telling somebody else about it, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. I'm not confident yet. Small, simple, easy. You can do it. You can do it. And it's going to be a game changer. All right, tip number 3 has to do with our inner critic. So tip number 3 is to kind of check your inner critic. Stand up to that inner critic. If you have to name it, give it a nickname. It could be a good one, it could be a bad one, it could be a funny one, but sometimes we just need to tell our own selves, that other part of us, that self-doubt, that hey, you're inadequate and you're not worthy and you're undeserving, tell it to shut up. Tell it to sit down. Tell it to take a hike. Say, you know what? Thanks. I got it. Bye, Felicia. Whatever might make the most sense for you, like let that other part of you know, like, we're good here. I have got this, because the negative thoughts are going to come. I hate to break it to you, you are not special. You are not the only person in the world that has to deal with negative thoughts, negative self-talk, and all of the inadequacies that might come up, especially if you're facing a new challenge. Those are natural, those are normal, they're going to come up. But when we learn to manage them and overcome them, that is also a complete game changer. So name it if you have to. I've got a couple of names for mine, and every once in a while I have to let them know, you know what? You need to get in the back seat. I'm driving the car. I'm going to get us where we need to go. Thank you very much. And it's enough to disrupt the loop that's going on in your head, to just give it a little buffer between it continuing to happen and you just stepping into that role and saying, I'm here right now. I've got it. Whatever that's about, sit in the back seat. Remember, bye, Felicia. Take a hike. Thanks so much. I've got it from here. So stand up to that inner critic, just like you might stand up to somebody that's bullying your friend, your kid, your loved one. Just like that, do the same thing. If you want to tell them to F off, tell them to F off. Perfectly fine. Have some fun with it if that's going to suit you. And tip number 4 is just to have some fun with it and feel it. What I mean by this is stressing out and worrying about being confident, overly confident, non-confident enough, confident over here, but not confident over here, is not going to help the situation. So what I recommend is to have some fun with it as well. Have fun with it, and then get yourself in a state where you feel confident most of the time. So what do I mean by this? Some people that I have interacted with, some clients that I have coached, have told me that they feel confident when they listen to a specific song or songs. So an idea there might be to maybe create a playlist of the songs that you know when you listen to them, you are in the zone, you feel your energy start to pump up. You know that when you listen to that, like, that is your go mode. Like, you can do whatever. You can tackle the world. Nothing's going to stop you. And listen to that. Listen to it in the morning when you're getting ready for the day. Listen to it in the car. If those aren't possible, maybe just listen to it, like, put some headphones in and listen to it right before you go into a challenging conversation with somebody or into a meeting you might be nervous about, to get yourself primed and readiness. I think of it almost like a suit of armor. And the additional piece of that is to literally put on a suit of armor, which would be maybe a favorite outfit, something that when you throw on, you look good. Maybe something you'd wear on a date, maybe a nice night out, whatever that is for you. If it's jewelry, if it's makeup, if it's carrying, putting on certain kind of jewelry, maybe carrying a purse, whatever that is for you, think of it as like a suit of armor that's going to keep you safe, that makes you feel like a badass, and you know that you can handle whatever is going to come your way and whatever you're getting ready to interact with. But it's a fun way to bring confidence back into your life while also changing literally your physiological state. We want to go from worry, self-doubt, fear, all of these things that are going to happen, to quickly just like get out of it and say, okay, here I am, I'm here. I may sink or swim in there, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to walk in there with my best. I know what I'm doing, and whatever happens, happens, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to grow from it. So 4 tips, again, it's going to be: start small, have a growth mindset, challenge your inner critic, tell it to F off, and to have fun and do what is going to make you feel more confident on a regular basis, and incorporate it into your everyday life. I hope you found these tips helpful. I am going to link a channel below in the comments section, in the description, to Jung Personal Mastery. Jung is a good friend of mine who happens to be a master coach and is an expert in confidence. So if this is a topic of interest to you, or that's really impacting your life or holding you back, maybe check out his channel. He goes into a lot more detail about it. He offers a lot of other different techniques and tips and tools and strategies that you can use that you might find helpful. But I highly suggest that you check him out. Until next time, I hope that you stay well. I hope that you Have a good week. Remember, whatever you're going through, if it hasn't been a good week and you don't see an end in sight, that it is temporary. It's going to pass. One thing we can count on emotions, whether it's a good emotion or a bad emotion, it's going to pass. It's only temporary. Things will get better. I can promise you that. Reach out, call somebody if you need to, but know that it will get better. Until next time, know that I see you, I care about you, I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.